Hi. So I went for a freezing run today. It's been a little while and haven't quite warmed up yet and haven't stretched. So this is a short 10-minute or so post-run stretch. I have mat, a blanket for a little extra padding. I have 2 blocks, but I also want you to know you can use 2 water bottles of similar size if you don't have blocks, and I'll show you how. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is a little dynamic stretching for my hips and then get into some static holds beginning with hamstrings. So with that, find your mat if you're in your living room or anywhere in your house where you have a towel or a little blanket to fold. That often helps to give yourself a little extra padding underneath your knee. So I'm going to start out in a half kneeling position, and I'm going to take the right foot and step it up. So I've got a 90-degree angle with both legs. And again, I'm just going to start with a little dynamic movement here. It is easy to get caught up in your life inside your house when you come back from a run. And sometimes just this, we forget to stretch. So I am included. I often forget and leave it out and just hit the shower or go eat. But I usually pay for it later. So stretching and foam rolling, which we'll do a little bit of, is a good investment to running and running happy. So I'm going to do a little hold here, and I'm going to draw the tailbone down, squeeze the left glute, and I'll feel the stretch up the front of the left side and my quads and hip flexors here. And I'm going to try to hold each stretch for 5 long breaths. And that usually equates to at least 30 seconds, depending on pace of breath. So if it's any shorter than 30, you gotta lengthen the breath a little bit more. You want the muscle to feel that it is stretching. Good. From here, we are gonna fold over that right leg. And I'm gonna use blocks because I have them. Again, you can put them around each foot. If you don't have blocks, but you have water bottles that are about the same size, what you're going to do is take those water bottles and place them on either side of your foot, and then lengthen your spine as much as you can here. You're going to walk that right foot forward, come to the heel, curl the toes back toward your shin. Take a deep breath in, and then fold over that leg. Almost there. Good, ease up, let the right foot come to the mat. Remove those bottles or blocks. And then from here, take the right hand to the inside of that right foot, and then shift your weight forward in a low lunge. So you start to feel a stretch in the inside of the right hip. Lengthen, so retract your shoulder blades here and lengthen your upper back. You might feel something on the left inner hip here as well. And then maybe you start to, especially if you have some padding underneath that left knee, you might feel comfortable to start to draw your left heel up toward your glutes. And if it's available to you, or if you have a strap, you can reach back with your left hand, grab a hold of that foot, and pull it in gently to stretch the quads pretty deeply. It might also feel good to reach back with the right hand and grab a hold of that foot. And you can play around with which option feels good. You can also use a small towel to hold or a yoga strap if you need a little help to reach that foot. So release that. Good. And then tuck the left toes under. Plant both hands and step back and just find a downward facing dog. Relax. Let your head hang heavy. And just shake your head a few times. Nod your head a few times, yes. Just be aware of where your shoulders are in space. Slide your shoulders down away from your ears. Good, and then from there, we'll come down to the knees. You're going to step your left foot forward and rise up to half kneeling. And then we'll do a couple of those dynamic stretches. Both hands above the left knee, you're pressing forward and then releasing, pressing forward, release. Good, and then just pause, just check in with your 90 degrees at both knees right here. Tuck the tailbone under a little bit. That's gonna help you get a more effective stretch for the right quads here. And then squeeze the right glutes. Breathe and hold. You're just holding this position while you take 5 long breaths. And just take a moment to reflect on your movement today, whether it was also a cold run, or maybe you live in a warmer climate and you're not dealing with all the layers. Maybe you hopped on your bike or your trainer sometime during this day. Or maybe you just wanted a 10-minute stretch for the lower body. From here, we're going to start to fold over the left leg. This time I'll use blocks. I'm going to walk the left foot forward a little bit, come to my left heel, and curl the toes back toward my shin. Just try to start with a long spine and a flexed foot. Inhale and then exhale to fold over my left leg. For all the athletes out there, you know that the mind-body connection is strong. And so when you are stretching, you can apply that as well. So in this case, you are deeply stretching your left hamstrings. And so as you breathe in, and as you exhale, imagine lengthening your hamstrings. Lengthen the belly of those muscles. And if you're not sure what the purpose of these blocks are, really it's just to bring the floor a little closer to you. So you can adjust the blocks at any height. And if you're really flexible there, you might be able to palm the floor when you're in this position without any help. If that's the case, good for you. Now we're going to release that left foot so it comes to the mat. We slide it back so that the knee and the ankle are pretty much lined up. And I'm going to take my left hand on the inside of that foot. And from here, I'll lunge forward, keep the length in the spine, and at this point, I'm feeling the stretch in my left adductors and inner thighs right here. Head and neck are relaxed. Breathing in, long exhale. Good, and then I'm going to start to bring the right heel in. And again, it's a preference thing. In this case, I'm going to reach back with my left hand, grab a hold of those toes, and gently pull them in toward my glutes. Good, and then slowly release. Tuck the right toes and press back into downward dog. You're gonna just hold that down dog. Hold that down dog right here. Set the shoulders down. And then walk your feet all the way up to your hands and hang heavy in a ragdoll. Good, so that was a 10-minute post-run, post-ride stretch for you. It kind of scratches the surface, it's brief, but if you can do something, start with that and let me know how it goes.